Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the Mechbay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. What's going on, Mechwarriors? You're listening to the Mechbay podcast, episode 52, Kickstarter, I Hardly Knew Her. I'm your host, Josh, and with me is my co-host with the most, Mr. Denham. How are you doing today, sir?
Howdy, howdy. I'm doing all right.
And we are finally done with our R&R after Adepticon. And we are emotionally ready to dive into the C-bill hole that we like to call the BattleTech Mercenaries Kickstarter. But of course, before we dive into where our last paycheck and all the insurance fraud we do here, let's get rolling on some hobby news, hobby progress, games played, store news, upcoming events, and even some fan mail.
Nice.
Okay, so first off, I want to mention that you can listen to more podcasts about Adepticon. We have the 40K Badcast. Co-host Campbell played BattleTech and actually played me, and he gave a great review of that event and the BattleTech portion specifically. So you can listen to that, listen to his opinions. You can listen to the Wolfnet Radio podcast. They had me on to talk about the Alpha Strike 350 event that they ran, so you can technically get a second opinion on the Alpha Strike event as well. You can listen to Listening to Paint Dry with Mike and Dan. They were both there, and Dan played in some Grinder, so check them out. Listen to all the fun painting that Adepticon has to offer, as well as the classic Grinder. And other friend of the show, Miniature Wargaming Labs, also was there. So check out their show to find out more about the event as a whole. All right, so let's get into some news. So we just got new record sheets from Catalyst that we've been missing, actually.
People have been asking for those for a while now and wondering why they never came out when all the other ones did. So, yay.
I honestly didn't expect these, ever. I thought they'd kind of just they'll come out eventually. We're constantly moving on to new product. Don't ask us again. Because we got Record Sheets Jihad, Record Sheets Dark Age, Technical Readout 3145, and Technical Readout 3150. So,
because you can't move forward until you finish the past.
That's right. So the big question is, why should we care about record sheets? Don't we all just print them off from MegaMech or use Flex Sheets? It isn't
I mean, I know I do. And Flex Sheets can use anything from MegaMech. So if you're worried about not being able to use custom mechs, you can still make a custom mech and export it to Flex from MegaMech. So MegaMech rocks.
But
are these not all in MegaMech?
These are the ones that are missing from MegaMech.
That's interesting.
These are mechs that were talked about in little footnotes and added and tech, advancement. I think that's literally the section is new tech, and they list all these new mechs that got new upgrades and roughly what those upgrades are. This is this enforcer with jump jets, and I'm like, okay, cool. Can I see the record sheet? And they're like, doesn't have one yet. Call me later.
Well, if there's not a ShadowHawk, I just don't care.
Well, there is a ShadowHawk. The ShadowHawk.
Well, now I care. What?
11 CS2.
Ooh.
So that'll be in Record Sheets Jihad, and that doesn't have a Sarna intrigue. It's literally missing. It's supposed to be there. Where is it? It's there now. We have it. New sheets you might be interested in, not you, Denham, but you, listener, are the new Raider, the Thor 2, all the different Giuliano variants. You've got the Shogun C2 with ferrolamellar armor. For me personally, you've got the Protomech upgrades for Hell's Horses and Snow Ravens. I get the Rock with a chemical laser and with improved jump jets. And I'm that's literally what I've been waiting for this whole time, man.
That's right. I know that Rock, and you're right. There was no record sheet. Now, as it goes, since these are now published in 3 months, they will go into MegaMech now that they're published.
Yes.
So, yay.
But you can get them now on the Catalyst website.
Oh, yes. Rock, sign me up.
I'm sorry, it's not an improved jump jet. It's an extended jump jet system.
It's the Protomech improved.
I know. We also just got revision 10 of the Total Warfare book.
That's great and all. It's good to clean that up a bit. I still think that they just need to rewrite the whole thing. They need a, Total Warfare remaster is what they need.
Yes, I also agree, because I looked through that, and we would, if we were any other game system podcast, like if we were, say, I don't know, a Warhammer podcast that was not disguised as a BattleTech, like we would go over all the things in this. But really, the only two things that I could see that, like, I paused at were they cleaned up Protomechs for our episode. They were like, if you don't have a main gun and you roll main gun on the hit location, where does it go? And we were like, it probably goes to the torso. Guess what? They've clarified that it goes to the torso.
That just shows that they do listen to us, because we had that come up in our game immediately, and now they clarified it.
Literally immediately, like first roll. I don't have a main gun. The other one is for battle armor. They clarified that instead of treating all missiles as an individual missile for hit locations, like if you fire your LRM-5, the wording makes it sound like you do 5 individual hit locations. You use the launcher type to
right. They clarified locations. That.
Yeah. Like I said, it's something I've never seen anyone do. I'm pretty sure that's how it's always worked in like MegaMech and the other simulators, but it's written out specifically. Use launcher type to determine hit location type. So that's it.
Clarification. Yeah.
There's a bunch of others. Nothing really major, like crushing, upsetting, going to change the way you play. Nothing like that. But it's good that we're on the 10th errata.
Yes. Well, the game's been out for a long
39.5 years.
Well, Total Warfare is specifically, I mean, like that's been out for decades already.
Yeah.
So it is ready for a complete rewrite.
Would the fandom burn down if they made us all buy a new Total Warfare book?
If it's written like the Battle Mech manual is, if it's got a good layout like that, and they cleaned up a bunch of things, I think it would be celebrated instead of making people angry.
That's good. All right, we've got the Premium Rifleman miniature / more so the Premium Phoenix Hawk miniature have been taken off the CGL websites until they can fix them.
Yay.
So they acknowledged that when they sent the files over to Monster Fight Club to be upscaled, that didn't happen. So there's a problem. So they've stopped selling them. I guess they will fix them and then come out with them again later. I would like to propose from Campbell from the 40K Badcast that the Premium Rifleman no longer be referred to as such. It is now the Rifle Boy.
Side news: the 3rd printing edition of the Battlefield Support card deck is supposed to have the missing cards finally.
Hey,
yay! And I heard that from Ray himself.
Will that have the beta points or the...
They're not. I think they're waiting until they have all that finalized to do the 3rd printing.
Okay.
So all that has to be finalized. Yeah, second printing was supposed to have the missing cards, and it didn't. It didn't. So
and they just went on with their lives.
They did. What could they do at that point?
We've got the April Fool's Day pack, which we missed technically in our Adepticon recap. Plenty of room at the Nebula, California.
Yep, and this is for all you Mechwarrior RPGers. The what?
Eagles fans?
Sure. No, it just means it's a conglomeration of really weird worlds and stuff that isn't canon but could be. It's for people who like to put a lot of imagination into their role playing games. Just some really weird stuff. It's a lot of fun.
When you say really weird stuff, like what's a identifier? You're shaking your head. You're like, Now I have to go look it up and open it up. Like that's. There's a lot of rocket launchers on one in there. I know that.
Yeah. Just different planets, different worlds, all the crazy stuff that you wish was in your standard BattleTech, but is not,
or wish wasn't and want it far away. All right, we've also got counters, packs, Alpha Strike, and Battle Force for all of your...
Right, the Battle Force is a reprint because it sold out. It was very popular.
I don't believe that.
It's probably because I bought all of them. So I have one of each of these, and they're good. They're all good.
That's a lot of news to, in between a Kickstarter finishing.
Right? I think that all of their efforts would be on the Kickstarter. But no, they're still doing little stuff and updating things and keeping things going.
All right, let's do some hobby progress. So I will start. I've been essentially getting back to basics is what I'm calling this. I felt both burned out and not burned out after Adepticon. Like burned out for painting things to that kind of level and kind of, I don't want to say keeping up with the Joneses technology-wise, but I did some retail therapy. I like going on Fortress and just typing in like a keyword and getting all the mechs that are for that keyword. Like if you type Star League, it gives you all the mechs that Star League has tagged with. I'm like, that's how I want. Like I just want to scroll and search. So went on Fortress and I bought an Emperor, the primitive model, like the sweet like 2020 metal model version.
You say the 2020, the one that came out 3 years ago, real time?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like this is a new looking. It's a primitive, but it's new. And it looks way better than the actual Emperor model.
I'm so glad they're updating those.
But why are they updating the primitives? I don't know, because they're just one tier below experimental. Better art, better models. Papa John's. But I also got a Kyudo, a Swordsman, a Hammerhands, and then I picked up something a little weird. I got the Lazy Forger Missile Battery Pack.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, so Lazy Forger is the same guy who designed like the land battleships for that full spectrum dominance game. You've probably seen, you've seen pictures of those. If anyone's wondering, Google that now, and you've been like, oh yeah, I saw this in like my mini painting or BattleTech Reddit or something. Like, essentially, sci-fi scale tanks and stuff.
Yeah.
But
do you get tired of people looking at your swordsman and asking you about your weird ShadowHawk?
It's the cooler. This is literally the ShadowHawk at home.
It looks so much like it.
It's got an LRM 5 pack, an AC
on the shoulder.
Yeah.
On the other shoulder.
And then in both arms, it's got really, really protruding medium lasers.
Yep.
I'm like, this is literally just a ShadowHawk, but cooler. At least the art's cooler. The model's okay. Like, okay, now you got me. You got me on that one. The Kyudo is literally the worst model I've ever bought from Irons.
Is that the one with the big weird left hand?
The left hand, it's like the strong arm, like 1.5 times the length of the right arm. That's by purpose because the left arm has like an LRM 20 on it.
Like on the shoulder, right? It's a weird shoulder mount.
It glues onto the ball joint of the shoulder.
Ah, gross.
So like you have to put the arm down a little bit to get more exposed sphere, and then you glue it on that. And I'm like, oh, we should not have drawn this like this at all. The right leg is supposed to be running, and the left leg is supposed to be on the ground, or vice versa. I wanted to do just a standing like missile laser pose. No, the two legs are the different lengths. The feet are two different sizes.
Oh yeah, so you're forced to do the pose that they have in the tech manual. Like I've noticed that on a lot of the minis. Like that's just what it looks like is the pose, and if you can't deviate that in most cases.
I mean, I can't, but I did.
Well, yeah, you did, but you have to put some work into it.
I had to put a lot of work into it for the model that I'm going to use twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that model got getting. If I had to hate mail any model, it'd be that, and then the Arcus.
So we're doing so many primitives. One of our next campaign missions has to be, versus the old guard. We've got to do that because we have them and we have to use them. It's just another excuse to put them on the table.
I mean, they are very fun. If you're doing like a Age of War style game, like it's crappy tanks versus crappy mechs, then you get to see are mechs actually better than tanks, and it's very thematic if everyone's on the same level.
Yeah, I'll just have a jump ship that did a miss jump, and it went through time instead of space. So it has actual fresh fresh mechs from the old days.
Four farmhands stumble into a hole in the ground and find a hegemony primitive stockpile, and then they go on a rampage and have to defend their homes from pirates. Coming this fall. But yeah, so the Lazy Forger missile pack looks great. Super happy with that. Like, that is designed by Lazy Forger, but printed by Death Ray Designs, and then sold by Fortress. So that's like the only place you can get it, and it's awesome. Like, I got it because I was like, I'm dubious about the art versus actual 3D quality, and it's like, no, this is better than I expected. I'm almost mad now. Like, nobody should be able to put that many windows on a tank and actually get it printed that well.
Nice. I'll take a look at some of those.
Yeah. So I've been painting up my proliferation pack because I got to take them out. And I'm doing Terran Hegemony Militia for like Age of War / Star League era.
So metal gray.
Pre-SLDF green.
Love it.
It's the, Henry Ford, you've got one choice of color and it's gray.
Yep.
But yeah.
Any color you want, as long as the color you want is gray.
But it's kind of nice. Like, it's kind of freeing. I'm just painting these up because I like it.
They're supposed to look. I like the look. I've seen them. It's good. I love the cockpits.
I broke from my traditional gold cockpits to like icy blue.
But the highlights on it are really nice. They look really good.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's like 5 shades of blue, blended down right to the corner. I'm like, never doing this again, says man who does this every time.
Yep, every time.
But no, it's really nice because I'm just like, no, I'm having fun with these guys. This is therapeutic. So what have you been up to hobby progress-wise?
I actually finished the 3D painting of the entire BFM. So,
whoa.
Yep, we got the whole BFM all painted up, looking pretty, ready to go.
The whole
and
thing.
Then immediately used it, but we'll say that till games played.
It looked good. I saw the pictures.
Thanks.
It looked too good. I was like, this is an official BattleTech table? Like, this looks better than the Kickstarter stream.
We got the exact right paint to go with the grassland maps. It's just so good. If the tables looked like that at Adepticon, we would have had a lot more traffic.
Yeah. On all the tables, like you're even talking about.
Every table should have terrain that looks like that at a convention, 100%.
All right. Well, let's just roll into it with games played then.
Fantastic.
Why don't you lead off? Talk about using that sweet BFM.
All right. Yeah, I've got a couple games. We'll start off with that one. Did a big Jade Falcon versus Mercenary Company. Well, I say Mercenary Company. It was 3 lances of different mercenaries. So we had Hanson Rough Riders, Eridani Light Horse, and Snords Irregulars. Because we've had people painting up the Mercenary Force packs, and we wanted to use all that stuff. So, yep, we had a really big game, a company versus a binary on the BFM, and it was fantastic. It went till 2 a.m., which wasn't that fantastic, but it was a lot of fun, a lot of back and forth. We had a key guillotine and thug holding off way more tonnage of clan mechs on the east flank than they should have possibly been able to, but they took partial cover behind this barracks that must have taken 400 points of damage on 5s and 9s rolled against the legs. It just like there's nothing left of that barracks. It was crazy. But it looked great. There was pictures. It was streamed on Twitch. So that's out there somewhere in the interwebs.
You'll never know.
Yeah. And then my other game, I'm still working on the blind box formula. We've been working on giving all the inner sphere pilots an edge to make up for the fact that their LRMs have minimum ranges and their PPCs only do 10 points of damage. And with the test game that I did, 1 point of edge seems to work super well. Edge being different than lucky, because lucky just lets you re-roll one gunnery or piloting roll that you make, whereas edge does all that. It basically lets you force a re-roll for any roll that affects you, whether you made it or someone else made it, or actually increase or decrease that roll by 1 or 2, depending on when you force that. So it's actually super powerful and can really help. So I think 2 edge would be too much, but so far 1 edge is working really, really well. I'll have to play a few more games and make sure.
We call that divine intervention around here.
Yeah. Well, it's if the clans are out there fighting these particular inner sphere pilots, they're out there because they've got that edge against the competition type of thing. They're super special inner sphere guys. And
Blake is on the side of the inner sphere.
But so far it's working. How about you?
Oh, I played 2 games since Adepticon. I played Scott Boehmer, and I took my proliferation pack versus his longbow, his new plastic Ontos, because he got that from the Kickstarter party.
Nice.
And that looks real good in person.
It does.
It got painted too. I'm like, that's an Ontos, all right. A guillotine and a Wolverine. He was taking like some, upgraded tech, so like snub PPCs and all that. I took my Mackie, my Icarus 2, my Wolverine, not Wolverine, Gladiator, and my Battle Axe against
and that's a proliferation gladiator, not the clan assault mech gladiator.
Correct. These are all the. So there's the models are literally the primitive versions and not the intro tech. So I printed off primitive on one side of the paper and the intro tech version on the other side, and I used the intro tech just to make it easy because I was like, okay, I don't want to take critical hits on everything above a 10.
I know, it's gross.
So that was a great game. I really forgot how bad intro tech mechs are, and these are the bad versions of intro tech mechs.
Yeah, but all your pilots were 0-0.
I did have a 2-3 Mackie, I think. And a 2-3 Mackie, a 2-3 Battle Axe, and 3-4 Icarus and Gladiator.
Yeah,
so
you got to do something to get that BV up.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad fight. Like I'll say that, but it's like every other turn I'm spiking heat to actually do any damage. What's your primary damage dealer? I don't know. This 1 PPC and all these medium lasers. What would you do the next turn? Try to cool off.
Hey, at least physical attacks are not affected by heat.
Correct. The key moments of those would be the Battle Axe and Mackie like double teaming against the Ontos. Like, okay, it's generated only a teaming of 1. I've got low skills. Jump into woods with the Battle Axe. 2 PPCs on the right side. Mackie PPC AC 20. I'm like, that's a lot of damage. Can the Ontos take it? No, it cannot.
Yes. Oh, really? No.
Yeah, no. It was like,
wow.
Focus fire. They both had the right side, so I was like, if this goes well, I'm going to put all eggs in this basket, and it paid off. The Mackie made it across the battle mat, like all the way from one end to the other to push the longbow off the table.
Fantastic. I saw there was like a Wolverine in his back arc at one point.
The Wolverine kept dancing around, but I think I had that first use luck on the Mackie where it just never took a lot of damage. Like, it could have died so many times and it never took the dying damage. It
was a very agile Mackie.
Yeah, he had a heavy PPC in my back arc and needed like 6s and couldn't roll it. And I was like, oh, thank you. But and then the Battle Axe did Death from Above to kill the Wolverine.
Nice.
Because it's pilot skill 3 versus pilot skill 5. It's a
-2. Yep.
-2. And I'm like, I'm feeling lucky because I'd already hit his head and I just needed to do like 3 damage to his head to kill it. And I was like, do it. And out of all the damage rolls, I was like, I just need to roll a 6 and I got it.
Nice.
But yeah. Other game was against Austin. He brought an Archer, Catapult, Orion, and Mercury, and I brought the Mackie, the newly assembled and painted Emperor, Swordsman, and a primitive rifleman.
So you fought in the shade for this one. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, this was Grasslands map. There ain't no shade on there.
The shade from all the missiles coming at you.
Oh, God. Don't remind me. Yeah, that was a rough game just because, okay, walking across the field, stomping through the forest. Mackie takes attack, head hit, kills the cockpit. I'm like, ooh, there goes 33% of my list right there. Rifleman takes AC-10 kick to the one leg, and I'm like, that mech's down. Oh, God. Swordsman, no armor. Dies. And I was like, Emperor tries to like, okay, I can crush a head with the death from above. I can do that with the first mech with jump jets. Nope. Fail that. I don't know what 4 up. It's like, oh. So yeah, that was a rough game. I did not. It was my like intro tech very brawly. Like they are literally medium lasers with like one other primary weapon.
A bunch of slow mechs against just a wall of missiles.
4.6 is my fastest. Yeah, against literally missiles. And I was like, I don't want to say this was a skew list versus, a bad list. Like, I'll admit my list wasn't optimized at all. So I don't want to say it wasn't fun, but I'm glad it's over.
Run away.
Yeah, but we were also playing no mission or anything, so it's like, okay, right. I just have to walk into you to do anything, and that means you get like 5 extra turns to try to kill me before I get there.
Yep.
So, yeah, so those are my 2 games I've played since then. I think we've got some upcoming events. First off, I'd like to thank Mole Man on the Mechbay Discord for starting the UK BattleTech Discord. It's literally what it's called, UK BattleTech. So finally we can get all the people in Britain organized and they can start having events over there that they know about.
I mean, everyone get out there and play. Everyone. I don't care where you are.
The Brits need BattleTech. Like, I just know it. It goes well with tea, I think. But we've got the Motor City Mayhem in good old Detroit. Not to be confused with regular Detroit, which is in the Irigian Breach.
I was going to ask about that.
This is regular Detroit, like Terra, Detroit. But that is May 20th. That is going to be Alpha Strike, and it's going to be awesome because I've seen all the stuff that they're getting ready for that, and that's going to be like the event to go to for Alpha Strike in between events.
I'm going to say that I am actually making some of the stuff that's going to be displayed there. I'm doing that this weekend, actually.
Yeah, I won't be there, but Mechbay is sending some swag and some party favors up. So if you get the chance, email motorcitymechwarriors@gmail.com for more info if you want to play, because that's May 20th. It's coming up, but it's going to be awesome. We've got Tukayid Heat on the MRC BattleTech Discord going all month long on Megamech, so in the virtual space.
Overflow servers will be on our own Mechbay Megamech servers that we've got going, so you won't be able to, no matter how many people are playing, we will have enough tables.
Yeah. We've got Battle of Tukayid on May 20th in St. Louis, Missouri, and you can go to miniaturemarket.com for more info on that. And lastly, we have Mini Con May 13th for Alpha Strike in Cornelius, North Carolina, and that's going to be an all-day Alpha Strike event. So May's very busy for BattleTech.
It really is.
I mean, I think everyone's just like so hyped after the Kickstarter that they're like,
oh, yeah,
you want to play BattleTech too. All right, for store news, Fortress Miniatures and Games, our supplier of all things BattleTech and wallet depleting, they have their new shipment of the Army Painter BattleTech paint sets and the Alpha Strike counters packs, Urban Mech salvage boxes, and Urban Mech plushies. So some of the things that you could only get at Adepticon are now in retail for there.
It says Urban Mech salvage boxes. Do they mean the Lance packs? Or just literally the original?
Just the salvage boxes from what I could tell. And I'm going to double check that right now, because that was the, whoa. Salvage box.
Okay, yeah, so it's just the original urban mech, not all the different weapon variants.
If you want a single urban mech, which is honestly all you need, in my opinion. But wait, they also have the new Ironwind Metal, awesome Warhammer, and of course the Urban Mech Aero 4 variant.
Oh, do they now?
Yeah, so they got those from Ironwinds at Fortress Miniatures. So
because I do kind of want one or two of those.
I knew. See, that's the thing. Everybody wants Urban Mechs, but they only want the Aero 4, and they don't want to lie to themselves and say that.
I like the one with the LB10X. I've used that one a lot over the years.
That one's good.
Only if we're playing on maps where I'm allowed to have hidden units, though. If you can't hide your urban mech, then it's not going to last until it gets a chance to get a shot off. But it's kind of like an SRM6 carrier. It has its use, but you have to prep the battlefield in your favor first.
Hidden units.
Exactly.
Urban field.
Exactly.
Sensor ghost. But yeah. So yeah, that's a lot of cool new product. They also have the new Metalcore collectibles, the Gila Garrison tank, the Defender, Aggressor, and support models. And if you hadn't seen it yet, the Tarmac King support tank. Like, the tank literally just has a piece of pavement on top ready to drop. And I'm like, if that ain't the coolest thing you've seen, then I don't know. So more retail therapy coming your way soon.
Yes. It's like I haven't spent enough on the Kickstarter already.
I know.
I found some more change in the couch cushions. I got to throw it at this stuff.
All right. You ready for fan mail?
I'm ready for fan mail.
All right. Sam Burling writes, "It is with deep regret that I must begin this letter to the podcasters on such a negative note as to air some hate."
Great. Well, that sounds about right.
But I cannot remain silent any longer. You, all three of you, with your excellent painting. Congratulations, Josh, on your most recent Best Painted Award. Thank you. The way you constantly appreciate other people's work that gets shared in the Discord, and worst of all, how you help others to better their own painting or to blame for my current predicament. I really want to paint more, but also I want better tools to be able to get better results, and airbrush amongst other things, as well as time, space to really achieve some high quality results. You have left me wanting more out of myself, and I hate you for that. I understand.
I do. But on that, it's, I know that you want better equipment. I also want a new airbrush. But the best way to get good painting is just do it. The more you do it, the better you're going to get, which goes into the time and space. I think that is the more important aspect of your list up there. So good luck with that, and please keep posting that to the Discord. I want to see all your progress.
Yeah, same. My little bit of advice for that is it's definitely time. If you don't have the resources, like tools are cool, but my advice is always go by the cheapest lot of mechs or units or whatever, skeletons. I don't really care. Like the cheapest models that you can put paint on, and just paint them. Learn new techniques, new colors. Do whatever makes you happy. If you're wanting to really progress to that next level, no one is amazing right out the gate. There's a literal pile of potential behind them.
Yeah,
some of it's shame. Like they'll admit that they're not happy with everything they've ever painted. Like I've got models I hate looking at. I'm like, no, you go away, please. Don't remind me of that time.
Yep, you want those 7,000 hours of practice in to call yourself a master.
So just keep practicing. That's all we want to see. Lastly, can I get some feedback on this Comstar list I randomly threw together for a 7.5K Clan Invasion mech only 4 separate mission set event that kicks off May 1st? I was like, this sounds like 2K at Heat from the RC. All right, so Sam has a ShadowHawk 5M. I don't see the pilot up there at 4.5. Pilot name definitely not Denham.
Yes, it is.
Black Knight 9 at 3.4, definitely not Josh. Mongoose 67 at 3.4, a Mongoose 66 at 4.4, a Blackjack 1 piloted by not Dustin, at 4/5, and then ShadowHawk 2H at 4/5, piloted by Back in My Day. I see what would happen here. So what do we think about this list?
Well, without being able to see the missions that it was designed for, it's got some mobility, but not jumpy mobility with the two mongoose. Personally, I don't know how it fits in Comstar. I assume Comstar can get almost anything, though. I'd like to see a mongoose and a spider. I just love that jump 8. I do like the 5M. I'd love to see that with a 3 gunnery because it puts out so much damage. I mean, it's got the Ultra AC5, the LRM 20. It's just got a lot of damage output
compared to the regular ShadowHawk.
Oh yeah. How about your first impressions?
My first impression is I don't know if the mongooses are able to run the interference. I feel like they're planned to be. Like, I see them as a run up and interfere until the rest of the list can like get up, set up in positions, and the Black Knight can kind of like do what the Clan Buster Black Knight does. Black Jet's good, but 2 ShadowHawks is... I feel like you need a faster, tankier unit in there.
Like a Wolverine.
Something that can get up and brawl. Like,
but that's got higher BV too. I kind of understand. Spreading 7,500 points out over 6 mechs is difficult, and this is not a bad list for that. But I do think that he doesn't have enough mobility with 2 non-jumping mongooses.
Yeah, I drop a mongoose, and I don't want to say mongooses are expensive for what they are, but they're also expensive in the clan invasion era because you're paying for the speed of an 812. And that's 900. That's almost 1,000, BV per mongoose. You could drop one and drop a ShadowHawk and bump that into like a heavy brawler that can maybe jump and then low skill as well. So it's not going to die. Like a Wolverine. Trying to think of any other Intersphere mechs that might. A Grasshopper is also good.
Yeah, the Grasshopper has... I mean, it's a 464, right?
Yeah, but it's that jumpiness with max armor.
Here's the thing about jumping. Yeah, guillotine would be good. But the thing I have about jumping mechs, especially heavier jumping mechs, is you really need to save the BV to give those at least a 3 gunnery to make up for the fact that if you're jumping with a 4-5, you can't hit anything. So you're either jumping or you're firing. And if you want to jump and fire, you need at least a 3 gunnery, if not lower.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think any of the mongooses need a 3-4.
Nope.
Even the 4-4.
Because they're going to be doing all of their shots in close range anyway.
Yeah, if you're shooting at medium range with the mongoose, something's gone wrong or your opponent's gone wrong. I like the 2 ShadowHawks. I also don't love 2 ShadowHawks.
I like the 5M. I'd love to finagle the points around to get a Wolverine instead of that 2H.
Yeah, don't take a 2H. You're not going to be happy. It's got 12 heat sinks.
The best you can do with that is run up and kick things all the time.
Don't do it, please. Blackjack 1 even. Oh, I know it's happening, which is none of these are great because they're like the middle weights of their class, and I'd rather see like a heavyweight, like the Comstar Archer, like the special Comstar variant. The 11 CS, 5 CS, one of the two, with 4 LRM-15s and Artemis. Like, that's way better than any of those ShadowHawks. For
the Archer with the 4 LRMs, 15s, and Artemis is one of the best archers ever made. Yeah. Just hands down. It is. I've seen it used to great success.
Too much.
Against me.
Yeah, so you don't need that Blackjack if you've got something that's dedicated and can do indirect, because the Blackjack's great for plinking, but plinking over that many turns isn't great.
Yeah, I mean, I get the whole. It's a Comstar, so it should have 6 mechs in that level 2, but that's spreading BV out a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know if you'll have alternate ammunitions in Clan Invasion era, but I need to look at that more. But so overall, we don't hate the list, but
oh no, I'd have fun playing against this for sure. But he did ask our opinions.
Yeah. Don't take a ShadowHawk 2H. You'll be disappointed, because back in my day...
It is disappointment.
It's
really
disappointment in a can. Alrighty.
That's not to say that I wouldn't and haven't taken a 2H myself, but yeah, it feels weird doing it.
And on the last episode for the patron shoutout, I forgot Mage 12th, Vegan Rager, and Faz. And the new patrons, Paul Dennis, Travis Callan, Honik, Mike, and Scot Pickering. Yeah. Alrighty. Ready to move on to some Kickstarter, or we need a break?
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll get on to the Kickstarter.
All right.
Warning. Damage critical. Ammunition depleted.
Welcome to the beaches of Canopus. Away from the chaos of the battlefield awaits rest and relaxation of a quality unsurpassed by the successor states. Trade in your cooling vest and neuro helmet for a cold martini and a nap in the sun. Or perhaps try your luck at one of our sphere-renowned casinos. Indulge in free culture and arts in our renowned galleries while expanding your palate with tastes local and foreign at authentic high-class restaurants and bars. Everyone knows that the magistracy is unsurpassed in pleasure and relaxation. Book a transcendent experience with an agent near you and return to your life truly refreshed.
All right. We have the Kickstarter to end all Kickstarters.
Well, funny you say that. Obviously, that is not the case. However, Catalyst did expect this to be a small Kickstarter because that's one of their goals, is to do a lot of small Kickstarters to fund their new projects. Hopefully Solaris will be one of them. But this Kickstarter ended up doing so much better than they ever possibly imagined. So
I think word on the street is they were expecting like half-ish of a Game of Armored Combat / Clan Invasion combined Kickstarter thing.
Right, exactly. Because they were expecting a small Kickstarter. But they don't seem to understand that people like BattleTech. They do.
No, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Yes, how much do people like BattleTech? They like BattleTech to the tune of $7.549 million.
$7.549 million and 69 cents, thanks to, I don't know who it was leading the charge, but every time it changed, he would go in and buy something else to make sure that cent sign ended up at 69 the entire campaign. So kudos to that person, whoever that was.
Real Mechwarrior genius right there.
That's right. Real Mechwarriors of genius. Mr. 69 cents, man.
All right. So we touched on this. There were multiple levels. You had the paper pusher, you've got the recruit, the veteran, the company, the battalion, regiment, all the way up to the big Kappa. So what are the differences between all of these big, money pits of ours?
Yeah, well, you don't even get the Mercenaries box until veteran.
Yeah. So paper pusher's really just little stuff, like all digital rewards, essentially.
Right. I like the idea of this. I want to get a little bit of stuff, but I'm
not interested in product.
Not interested in product. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So
and then recruit, I think, gives you a beginner box.
Yeah,
so I'd love to get into BattleTech. This is a great way to do it. And I still want the digital rewards, but also a beginner box.
That's a great place if you were like wanting to get the Kickstarter for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah. Or if you just wanted one particular force pack or something, so you get that and then you add on that force pack and you're golden. Yeah. The cheapest way in.
All right. At veteran, we've got $80, and that gets you the box set, the 4-inch Timberwolf, 3 salvage boxes, 7 digital books, and 3 audiobooks. That's pretty good for $80, considering the box set's $80. So really, half of that's free.
Yeah, you get the box set and then a bunch of free stuff to say thank you for supporting the Kickstarter.
I like that. I like that it's just, this is the price of the box set, and you'll get some.
And all the
stuff.
salvage boxes are from the Mercenary line. So they could be a mech, they could be a vehicle.
Nope.
Or
nope.
are these not random?
All mercenary salvage boxes were announced to be one of the 38 mechs only.
Oh, okay, not vehicles.
Yep.
Interesting.
I had to go into one of their FAQs for that one.
That is a change. I'm glad they specified that, because originally it was mech or vehicle, and if you got a vehicle, you would get 2 of that vehicle. So I'm betting that
could have
some
changed.
some logistical thing happened, and they changed that. So it's only one of the mechs. That's good to know.
That could have changed. I want to say, don't quote me on that, but that I did read from one of their Kickstarter emails. Mercenary salvage boxes are 1 out of the 38 mechs and only mechs.
No, that's a new thing, because what I'm talking about, what I heard was from a long time ago.
Okay.
So we're going to go with yours.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, veteran, great. Company at $150 reduce is where you start getting more force packs. You get 5 force packs, 3 salvage boxes, and you get 6 additional rewards. What's the word? You also, everyone gets the company swag option, like 1 swag.
Right, 1 swag item, not 1 swag set. That's a different thing. So either a patch, a pin, or a challenge coin. Although I think you get challenge coins separately too. Yep. So the battalion gives you 1 challenge coin and 1 swag. So
yeah, company, good. Not great, but good. Because you're getting essentially everything from veteran in 5 packs. And these 5 force packs are, let's roughly say, are $35.
Right. And we're also getting, at this point, we're getting posters, a lot of posters. Supersized posters. But that's okay.
That's okay, he says.
Well, it's they're folded for shipping.
I literally wrote here, they're folded, not rolled, in multiple FAQs. We're like, can't do fold or can't do rolled, only fold.
Yeah. But no, at least rolled, I have that. I've got that T-shirt press now, so I can flatten them out, and they look really nice after you do that.
That's good.
Then I roll them myself.
Battalion at $275. You get 11 force packs.
It's a lot of force packs.
The 3 salvage boxes, premium record sheets, a Savannah map pack, and the physical Sun Tzu Art of War by Jamie Wolf.
This is the stuff that I really, really like. When you get a physical leather-bound copy of Sun Tzu Art of War annotated by Jamie Wolf with his little notes and thoughts written into the margins. That stuff I love so much. So more of that.
We've got Regiment at $500. 17 force packs.
It's a whole lot of force packs.
4 salvage boxes. The Encounters BattleTech dice game. Both the Savannah and the City map packs.
Yay. And that's the paper packs.
Yes. And then, of course, everything that the previous ones got. And then we have Big Kappa at 5,000 C-bills.
That's a lot.
You get 2 mercenary box sets, 38 force packs, battle mats, not battle sheets, battle mats of City and Savannah, 2 years of quote-unquote free product.
It's not just 2 years of free product. It's 2 years of 2 of everything they make. So up there where it says the battle mats of City and Savannah, they get 2 of each of those. So not 2 individual battle mats, but 2 of all the battle mats.
Sorry. They get all of the battle mats for this.
They get all the battle mats twice for this.
And then they get whatever products that come out there for 2 years, they will get that.
Yep.
So unannounced things, you're just pre-buying it.
Yep, pre-buying 2 of them. 2 of everything.
Kerensky Con invite, shirts, and more. I wrote here, more than is probably necessary, because if you bought the Big Kappa, you're not listening to this podcast wondering what you got.
Yeah, you get everything.
Yeah.
And then some.
Don't ask me, I'll ask you.
You know what you don't get? You don't get you don't get your name in an official product. That is mysteriously missing from this Kickstarter.
I wonder why. Because they're still trying to get that finished from last time.
Oh my goodness, that was a mess. That should have been more expensive last time, is what it should have been.
The artists and writers have been like, that was way underpriced. That was a mistake. Nobody consulted anyone on that. But yeah, so those are our price tiers. I want to just point out that during all this, there was a lot of, I don't want to say complaints. There were a lot of comments that like they felt like the Kickstarter was weighted towards battalion, like just as a whole.
Probably.
Like
Probably.
all of the unlocks were heading towards battalion.
If you do the average amount per person, it came out to around the battalion anyway. So it just like if that's how most people are going to go, that's where most of the love is going to go. But
yeah, no, I would agree that it was somewhat weighted towards battalion is where you start really breaking price per value. A lot of people were also commented like they would love to back somewhere in between company and battalion and regiment, and there just wasn't that option. Like these were the discrete options. And I was like, right. Yeah.
But like I said, they were expecting this to be smaller, so they didn't have, it wasn't to be convenient to all backers. It was to be convenient to CGL.
Yeah. There were only a few discrete things and not a like choose your own adventure Kickstarter, which the clan invasion I felt kind of was more so. To quote a comment I saw when they were complaining about the prices and how many force packs you got, it was like, well, yeah, of course, that was 3 economic collapses ago. It's like, yeah. All right, so this is all technically centered around the Mercenaries box set, and we haven't really touched on that. This is, quote, a supplement, is how they're describing it. To the
just like Clan Invasion. Yeah.
It's its own standalone, but also a supplement to what is already out there.
It's not standalone in that it doesn't come with the basic rules that come in a game of Armored Combat, just like the Clan Invasion. So it comes with supplemental rules. It does not come with the how to play BattleTech rules. So you really want to have a game of Armored Combat as well.
Because something tells me that 32-page rulebook it comes with is going to spend a lot of time on vehicles, especially the hovercraft they have.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, oh, God. So we get 12 miniatures. We get the Chameleon, Starslayer, Caesar, Devastator, Flea, Firefly, Quick Draw, Ostall, 2 Galleon light tanks, and 2 Maxim hover transports.
Hover transports. We're going to be playing with infantry now.
Yeah. I was a little surprised they didn't include anything infantry-wise in there. I can only guess that they will have, in those 99 battlefield support cards we get inside the box, something will be like, counts as infantry or something.
Yeah, I was hoping to at least have Intersphere battle armor included, but you got to get a force pack for that. I was surprised that there are no force packs with just bases of standard infantry, though. I guess maybe that's part of the counter. Like, I know they've got 3 punch boards of additional counters. We might get infantry on those.
I would hope. I want to hope. Because I'm
assuming.
I'm completely fine if that's how they want to approach infantry for now. Like, until they feel like their manufacturing and art can really make infantry look good.
Yeah, because that scale has got to be super tiny. I don't mind for regular standard infantry. I don't mind it just being a punchboard counter, easy to stack, easy to put on top of a vehicle to say it's transporting it. I think that would be a good solution, but have not heard either way personally.
Yeah. So we get pilot cards in that. We get support cards. We get the reference sheets, which we all love. Laminated Mercenaries poster, 2 6-sided dice, and 2 paper maps, which we don't know what the maps are.
And the most up-to-date battlefield support deck.
Yes.
Included in the box.
Finally.
Yes. Well, they did that with the Alpha Strike box set as well, which I thought was fantastic. So you've got the Alpha Strike version in the Alpha Strike box set. You've got the classic version in the Mercenaries box set. I think that's a great addition.
Same. So what's our overall impression? Mechs in this good? Not great? Things you
Dude, I'm a huge fan of the Chameleon. I like how the Devastator looks. I like these mechs. I do, and I like vehicles. They're fun.
I like it too. I don't think any of these are like poster boys compared to like the Game of Armored Combat and Clan Invasion boxes.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, hey, there's no Timberwolf in here. Amazing.
There's no clan at all.
Right. That's true. Because it's a Mercenaries box set and Clan doesn't do Mercenaries.
No, but Mercenaries do Clan.
Yeah. I think the Star Slayer is supposed to, like, I've seen that featured on a lot of products.
Yeah.
It's even on the paint set, the BattleTech Army Painter paint set. The Star Slayer is front and center right on that. So I think they're trying to make the Star Slayer, the key poster boy of that set.
Star Slayer's Star League.
It looks unusual.
It does. I like it. I like the asymmetrical.
I'm a little upset that the chameleon is in here because that means that it's going to be harder for me to get a lance of them.
Is that a reference I'm not privy to?
No, I have a scenario that uses a lance of chameleons, and sometimes I don't always want to bring the metal ones around. I'd love to have the new updated version for my lance of training chameleons. But I don't really want to buy 4 of the box sets. I think already I'm going to end up with 2 or 3 of them. So
I was about to say,
I'll just trade for another. I'll just trade for another. Somebody else for another chameleon. I'm sure I can find somebody.
All right. So yeah, I don't feel like this is like poster boys. I don't want to say like the choices are weird. They made the choices for the reasons they made. But yeah,
I don't mind putting mechs that aren't as familiar in products and major products because it gets people to use them. And I think that's a big part of it. People get too stuck on the mechs that they like and prefer. And then there's like mechs like the Quick Draw that some people have never, ever used. Well, now there's one in your box. So why not put it out on the table? See how it feels. Take that Firefly. The Firefly is actually a really good mech. It's got a lot of firepower for its size, like a whole lot. And if you don't use it, who's to say that the Flea isn't better than the Locust in certain situations?
I was like, everyone has to include one crappy light mech, and that's legally required. And that was the Flea.
It is.
You like
but
it?
Test it out. See what you think.
All right. First 48 hours, people got a Visigoth, and that's also an add-on. So if you weren't able to get in the first 48 hours, you can buy a Visigoth.
That's true.
So that'll be cool. So that'll match up with our Shalone that we got from the last Kickstarter. We've got the 4-inch tall Timberwolf.
And that's for everybody that got the veteran or above. That was not a 48-hour thing. That's just if you did a veteran or above, you got a 4-inch Timberwolf.
Thoughts on 4-inch tall Timberwolves?
I don't think that's an add-on, right?
Not that I could find.
Yeah, I think that's just yay, I'm going to have an awesome sized Timberwolf that I'm going to have painted up super, super nice. Like this is where a lot of the mechs I've just been painting to be table ready because I play campaigns and I have a lot of them and I want to get them out. But the 4-inch Timby will be, that will be my piece of art. I will put extra time into that and it will look good and it will just sit there on my desk for people to be like, ooh, ah.
Yeah, that one's the take to work after it's painted up. And I don't see anyone playing with that because I don't know of any other 4-inch mechs we have.
You can make a really pretty diorama with it.
That's true.
With just it.
All right. We've got the premium mech sheets. Wanted to talk about those.
It's just like they did with the other ones. They look really, really nice and they work super well right out of the box with dry erase pens. I just go through, me personally, for what I do as a CDT person at my store, I go through so many mech sheets. It's just easier for me to print them out in bulk. But I love how they look. It's just not a product for me. But I can see a lot of people who are more casual than I am get a lot of use out of them.
I can't wait to play with my premium record sheets. Oh man, I'm so excited for these.
Yeah, you're limited to those variants.
Yeah,
completely.
That's fine. I'm happy for the premium record sheets. They look cool.
Do you have the premium ones from the other?
I do not. I didn't know how cool they were at the start.
Yeah, they had them over at Adepticon, and I did not purchase them immediately, so they got sold out immediately.
I was about to say I never saw them.
Yeah, they were sold out almost instantly.
God.
I meant to. I was going to go back to get my second line of stuff, and when I went back, everything sold out. Just to have it in my collection. I don't know if I was ever going to use it, but I wanted it.
Those are neat, and I like that we'll be getting them for free, but also add-on.
Yep.
Force packs, lots of force packs. Shall we read to ye all the force packs available for this?
Yeah, let's do it fast though. Like we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. People can go do go to the Kickstarter page and get all of that information.
Speed read. All right, we got battlefield support, assault and cavalry. We got 2 Demolisher tanks, 2 Shrek PPC carriers, 2 Condor heavy hovers, and 2 Pegasus scout hover tanks. I dig it. I love me some Pegasus scout hovers, and
all of the vehicle packs. I'm just excited. I'm getting them all.
Yeah. So, well, too long. Don't listen. Man, we're excited for some plastic vehicles.
We are insanely excited.
Not a single of the packs that has a vehicle is a loser, in our opinion.
I thought at first they looked a bit big because some of them do overhang the hex bases. I don't care anymore. I think they look like, after looking at them, they just look really pretty. It's going to make it difficult to stack them in a hex. I don't care.
Oh my God. They look pretty. Don't get me started on stacking rolls that 2 of these can go in a hex.
I know. It's going to be great.
We got battlefield support, battle and fire, 2 Manticore heavy tanks, 2 Vedette medium tanks, 2 LRM carriers, and 2 SRM carriers with enough turrets to make 4 of either one. So detachable turrets. So get your magnets, Mechwarriors, because you're going to learn today.
Yeah, any vehicle that has a turret already has a movable turret. Like all the vehicle turrets do spin.
All of them?
That's what I heard. Anything with a turret, you can twist the turret.
Okay. I'm not saying that because I didn't read that, but
yeah, I read that somewhere.
There's too much information in this to really digest all at once. So in
the Kickstarter, the vehicles that the stores got, one of them had like a really tiny little, like a small laser turret. It was still twistable. Okay. Like even the little tiny one. Even the Goliath mech with its turret on the top had a spinnable, rotatable turret.
You heard it here first, folks.
But yeah, I love that the LRM carrier and SRM carrier, they come with enough to make 4 of each if that's what you want.
I feel like this is going to be like the most wanted pack just for that. We've got the battlefield support objectives pack. We got mobile long tom artillery with the support carriage. We got the mobile headquarters and of course the MASH vehicle. So these are literally your objective vehicles in 3 dimensions now.
This is going to be super popular for anyone who runs tournaments or missions. Anything with objectives, because these are literally your standard objectives for games like that. So I think everybody needs one. Nobody needs a lot unless you're running the games, and then you need as many as you have tables.
Yeah. Battlefield support, recon and hunter, 2 Skulker wheeled scout tanks, 2 Warrior H7 attack helicopters, 2 Behemoth heavy tanks, and 2 Ontos heavy tanks.
This has got to be Paulo's favorite pack because of those attack helicopters.
I mean, I feel like this is going to be a lot of people's favorite because helicopters.
Yeah.
And Ontos.
They look good too. They look
Ontos.
good.
I also like how this one's a mix of light, heavy, and then VTOL. So like this is your all-rounder box set.
Yep.
We have...
It's like the sample pack.
Yeah, this is the sampler. We have the only 2 clan packs in this entire Kickstarter, the Clan Cavalry Star and Clan Direct Fire Star pack. Cavalry Star having the Black Python, the ShadowHawk 2C, Griffin 2C, Jenner 2C, and Locust 2C. So light, medium, and then heavy and assault. Or I'm sorry, nope. Yeah, ShadowHawk 2C is an assault.
No, the Phoenix Hawk 2C is an assault. ShadowHawk 2C is 45 tons.
God.
Yeah. So you've got a heavy, 2 mediums, and 2 lights.
Okay. I dig it. Then the other side of the coin is Clan Direct Fire Star Pack with the Kraken, Highlander 2C, Phoenix Hawk 2C, Grizzly, and Rifleman 2C. So this is the heavyweight box compared to the lightweight box.
Oh, yeah. I love the Rifleman 2C. When I saw the Highlander 2C, for some reason, I saw it as Hollander 2C. I'm like, what is that?
Best mech that was ever imagined, and it doesn't exist because I can't have anything I want in real life.
But the Phoenix Hawk 2C, they bumped that up to 80 tons. Yeah. These are big boys, all of them.
Chonkadillas. All right, we got the Inner Sphere Assault Lance. So this is now to the Inner Sphere's mechs. Pillager, Goliath, Shogun, and Hoplite. So our first quad.
Yeah.
It looks like a tank
looks like a Goliath.
Legs. Yeah.
It looks like a Goliath.
Kid you made fun of in high school that looks exactly the same as an adult.
Just bigger.
Just bigger.
Intersphere battle armor is next. Yay. Even on the little blurb, it's what's there to say? 4 squads of battle armor.
Yeah, that's a lot of empty space in that box set. And
did you want to put a level 2 of battle armor instead?
I actually would. I feel like if the clans got the 5 elemental pack, I feel like the Intersphere pack could just have 6. Like, you only get 4 guys to a base, so it would make me feel a little bit better on the price point on that one.
The price point is I don't know what the exact price point is of those. So
the Intersphere are 30, the vehicles are 30 or 40, and the clan are 35.
Okay.
So this one I would hope would be 30, but I feel like even that's only 4 hexes.
Yeah, for some reason I thought I heard that was cheaper, but I don't.
If it's
know
cheaper,
exactly.
I hope so, because that's the one that I'm like,
I'm getting 1 or 2 of those for sure.
I mean, it only comes with 4, so we need multiple of them to do like any company of Intersphere battle armor.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Intersphere Heavy Recon, Charger, Ostrock, Merlin, and Assassin.
The Charger.
28% interest. Oh, Charger. I dig the Assassin. Real happy to have an Assassin.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty one. Merlin's not a bad mech, but yep.
All about the Assassin life. Intersphere Pursuit Lance, Dervish, Cicada, Clint, and Hermes 2.
I like the Dervish. I'm happy they have that.
It's the, like, surprise, like the one mech you don't expect, and it's like, oh, Dervish, nice to have you here.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. It's a solid 55-tonner.
Mm-hmm. Intersphere Recon Lance, Firestarter, Oscout, Spectre, and Javelin.
Yeah, I'll be getting all of those. I like all of them.
That's the best
it's
one.
A solid recon lance.
Like, I already have the metal Oscout, which is like roughly the same CAD design Oscout, and
it goes with the Ostol in the box set.
Exactly. Like, you got to complete the Ost collection. Also, the Spectre looks dope. Not how I would imagine it. Much more happy about it.
Yeah, he put on some weight, some good weight. It looks good on him.
It does look good.
It does.
Intersphere Security Lance, Jaegermech, Scorpion, Falcon, and Whitworth.
Your other quad.
That Scorpion's got some swiggity swooty coming for that booty energy.
It's so weird looking.
It is. I mean, one leg is completely off the hex. Like,
yeah, he's taken a step for sure. People are gonna be cutting that one and reposing it a lot.
But I also think the quads are really easy to do that with. So
yeah, because they're super stable.
All right, then we have the legendary Mechwarrior 2 pack. We've got our SM5 tank destroyer, Caesar.
Yeah, I was sorry. That was Calandre Kel. Yeah,
Caesar Archangel variant, the alternate pose Devastator, the Charger 3K, and the Marauder Red Hunter with the optional autocannon swappable.
That's cool.
Yeah. I like how they're now experimenting with, we'll put things that are optional in the box sets.
I love that, yeah.
All right, Legendary Pilots Pack 3, Marauder, Bounty Hunter, all
variants.
We got the Warhammer 9K. That is the MML 7 variant. So instead of a 6 missile pod, you've got a 7 missile pod. Griffin 2N, Timberwolf Bounty Hunter 2, Loki Mark 2, excited for that, and Marauder 2 Bounty Hunter.
It's like half the things in here are Bounty Hunter, which is fine. I have no problems with that.
I mean, it's a Mercenaries Kickstarter. I don't love it, but I understand it. I accept it.
You gotta fight against the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, that's a lot. We also, so those are the force packs that they kind of like announced and we knew about.
Right.
They threw 2 in during the Kickstarter. That is the Rifle and Command Lance vehicle pack with the Hetzer, Bulldog, Sturmfuhrer heavy tank, and the Von Luckner heavy tank.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone loves a Hetzer.
Yeah, I mean, no turret, but it's just a gun that points that direction. Yeah, I mean, I'll use them for sure.
Can't say no to them. To this pack.
It looks good. Like the mini looks really good. I like how it looks.
Then we have the Heavy Battle and Sweep Lance with the Patton Tank, the Pike Tank, the J. Edgar Hover Tank, and the Drillson Heavy Hover.
And you need both a Pike and a Shrek, for sure.
I mean, I definitely think this is like my number 2 box set for vehicles, because I love the J. Edgar. Like, it's probably the coolest of all hovers.
I was going to say it is the hover I would use the most, for sure. Yeah. I'm really glad they added that.
And the Pike just got the new 3 plasma rifle variant. Mm-hmm. And if you don't think that's real good, then I got.
Oh yeah, no, I think we talked about that when the Ilkland Rec Guides came out with it. I love 3 plasma rifles. I think that is great. I do like the Patton Tank. I just, when you just want a tank, I want a tank. There's a tank.
You a Patton or Vedette person? For your generic tank.
Yeah.
Are you AC5 or are you AC10?
AC10.
Okay. Yeah. Vedette's like super basic. Patton's like basic with extra bling. Because we all want flamers on our tanks. Now, here's the stuff we didn't get and didn't unlock. We did not unlock the Blood-Ass specific salvage box. And we did not unlock the Somerset Strikers Force Pack with the Somerset Strikers specific variant of the Axeman, Mauler, alternate Bushwhacker, Hatamoto Chi, and alternate Wolfhound.
Right. That Axeman, the 2N with the 2 LRM-15 launchers, like I was going to have to modify one of those. Now, we didn't get it for free because we didn't hit 8 million, but they did mention that all of that stuff will be available to purchase as add-ons, all of it. So that includes the Somerset Strikers, like the patch and the pin, and the dice, and the whole Somerset Striker 5 mech Lance Pack and the Blood-Ass salvage box will all be available for you to purchase as an add-on. You just won't get it for free at the tier that you purchased or that you backed in the Kickstarter.
Well, that's good to know, because I know there were a lot of people that were like, we need to get the Blood-Ass.
I know, yeah. So no free Blood-Ass, but you can buy one.
All right. So that's all the models, and that's a lot of models.
It is a lot.
Sweet Blake, that's a lot of models.
I am giddy that we've got the Somerset Strikers pack because as you know, I've mentioned it on the podcast before. I wanted to paint up all of them anyway, but some of the models just didn't exist. So Hatamoto Chi, Mauler, new variant Axeman, super happy. I will be posting pictures of those as I paint them. That's the first, I want to say Draconis Combine. This is only a Draconis Combine mech, and there's no way around it. And I've honestly been a little surprised it's taken this long to get something like the Hatamoto Chi, but I'm glad it's finally here. Yeah, it's like a mix between the Charger and the Thug. That's exactly what it is. Literally, exactly what it is. Faction swag. Way too much faction swag. You got patches, you got coins, and you got pins. Yep, that's a lot of stuff. And there's for all the mercenary units that they listed, there's a whole bunch of them. We're not going to read through all of them. If you're a mercenary company or an occasional weird faction, like Word of Blake is there in the options, and I'm like, you're not a mercenary. Crescent Hawks are now in there. That came in at 7.5 million, I think, something like that. I don't know, but super happy to see them. Just because I'm old and one of the very first games I played was Crescent Hawks Inception. I feel like I got to go back for all the force packs, all of the Inner Sphere mech packs. If you got one, you will also get a salvage box. Right. Because the price point for a 4 mech pack is not the same as a 5 mech pack. So you get that is not if you add them as an add-on pack, because the add-on packs you are paying the appropriate amount. But for your selections in your pledge tier, since they don't differentiate between prices and the selections, you only get the free salvage box if you select them as one of your tier selections, not as an add-on, like a separate add-on. So that actually makes you more valuable than a clan pack on a per dollar point. So if you're really pinching the C bills on there, get the vehicle packs or get your Inner Sphere packs with extra salvage boxes.
Oh, man. Okay. We got the new BattleTech Encounters box set. That's part of the add-ons. And I just wanted to briefly mention it's a trick dice game where you play as a merc company trying to earn reputation. So it's not miniature based, it's dice based. And I'm not knowing how that'll work, but it's only $25. So I think it'll be the fun little, do you want to play this while we wait for other people to get to the game store kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. So, and I get one with my tier anyway. So I will give it a review once I get it.
All right, we've got the map packs. This
Yay.
is what I'm most excited about.
Super excited.
We've got Savannah and City. And when they say Savannah, I didn't expect as much blue water as they threw in there, but I'm not complaining because those maps look great. All right. But first, let's talk about City, because a lot of people were wondering about City. City are $35. They are more expensive than the Savannah because it includes a die-cut sheet of extra counters, such as rubble hexes for tracking destroyed buildings.
Yep.
So they fully expect buildings to be destroyed, and then you just cover up that building with a rubble hex.
On some level, I know they call it the Mercenaries Kickstarter. To me, it kind of seems like the City Tech Kickstarter, really. Because you got the vehicles, you get the buildings, extra building rules and counters. They could have marketed this one as City Tech
the
introduction of Mercenaries. They could have.
I don't think it would have done as well.
It would have done the same. Like to have all the things exactly the same. I bet they had a conversation. Should we call this City Tech or should we call this Mercenaries? So
have the names of all the maps in the City pack and the Savannah pack. And I just want to read them out because they're really cool. We got Corporate Campus, HPG Offices, HPG Heliport, Central Park, Family Quarters, HPG Engineering, Roundabout, Plaza, Shopping District, Business District, Observatory Hill, and Park District. And I almost want to say we're going to need to buy 2 of these to have really cool city maps, but I'm okay with that.
I can't wait for the BFM of the city maps. That will be amazing.
Me too, man. Me too. That is 12 maps on 6 sheets for $35. And I don't think that's unreasonable.
It's what we've been paying for. Well, I mean, the 35 is just because of the extra counters, but yeah, $30 for 6 double-sided paper maps is what we've been paying for all the map packs. So It's not bad.
Then we have Savannah. That's also 12 maps and 6 sheets. Without the
reading through these sound familiar to me.
Which ones seem familiar to you, Denham?
All of them, because I own all of these in different map packs from way back in the day.
Yeah, so these are modernized versions of previous maps that for updated playability.
They look so good. Yeah, for all those map packs that you can't get anymore. They're out of production, they're out of print, and you're like, well, I'll never be able to play on that map again. Well, here they are. I guess this would be map packs 1 and 2, from what I remember.
Real old.
Yeah, real old. Decades old. The original
Can you say back in my day?
I didn't, but I can. So back in my day, we only had 2 maps. We had the BattleTech one and we had the City Tech one. And all of the resource books, the scenario books that came out when it told you about maps had just those 2 maps. And they were sometimes they were inverted, sometimes they weren't. But those were the 2 maps that you had to choose from.
And here they are.
The River Delta. Yeah. So I'm going to read through these because I just remember them. Large Lakes, literally just a gigantic lake on a hill with a little waterfall. Then Large Lakes 2, desert sinkholes. So instead of hills, you just got sinkholes in the ground. It was inverted hills. Horrible for cover unless you were a vehicle or infantry because you can't get partial cover from people above you. So desert sinkhole 1 and 2. River Delta. Now, that one was a mess to play on back in the old days, and now they've converted some of those hexes to depth 0 water, so it actually makes it way more
marginally easier to just walk through
the
water.
Way better to play on. You got the original BattleTech map, you've got the Box Canyon map, you've got City Ruins map, you've got the original City Tech map, then you've got the Mountain Lake and the Wide River. They're all classic, awesome maps that I'm super happy to see with new artwork and just better. I like how they've done the hills and the forests now, where every hex is labeled exactly what it is. There's no guesswork like there was back in the old days. Back in my day, Josh,
I got you there.
we would have to look and talk to each other and say, okay, which ones of these woods are heavy and which ones are light, and what level is this hill, because it is labeled as both a level 2 and a level 3 on the map. So which one is it?
That sounds awful.
It was crazy. Yeah, they're all better now.
So those are maps. I'm excited about the maps. Love the cool looking maps. I like the colors. The colors just look good. I snuck pictures of those at Adepticon. I was like, bro, is it worth it to get kicked out if I steal these and run?
Well, the maps, yes. The pictures, no.
Yeah.
I'm
go back in time. Take the maps, yeah. Josh. They were good.
I'm looking forward to the battle mats of all of these. I'm just going to get them all.
All right. We've got a lot of books. And
a lot of books.
I thought about listing out the names of the books, and I was like, no, other people do that. I'm going to list authors because we've got books, digital and physical, by authors you love, such as Philip A. Lee, Jason Schmetzer, John Helfers, William Keith, and Jason Hansa. And a little something called The Cracked Canopy Cookbook by Jennifer Boxby.
Fantastic. Super excited about all of them.
I don't understand the cookbook, but I'm like, I'm just going to move on.
You don't understand the cookbook?
Like, I understand
really?
It's a cookbook with BattleTech flavored meals, but I don't know.
Right, exactly. It's a BattleTech themed cookbook so that you can have that and you can cook things that are normal and call them by awesome BattleTech names when you're sitting at home with some friends playing BattleTech and cooking on the grill. It is the best idea ever, and I 100% love this idea.
Bro, this is the Mercenaries Kickstarter. It's MRE flavor 1, MRE flavor, please trade it with someone else.
No, I'm thinking more like that scene in the A-Team, the new movies I say new movies, came out like 5 or 6 years ago, where they're all sitting around cooking their steaks and with the antifreeze marinade.
Is that where
stuff
that
like that
from? Okay.
Yes.
Can't feel my legs anymore.
That's
Okay.
See that stuff.
I was like, I've never seen this movie. Oh, but I have seen that scene because I
you know what I'm talking about.
I do the marinated steaks with antifreeze mean way too much.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's get into the big meat of this, because all these models are cool, all the maps are cool. But you know what everyone really wants Kickstarters for?
Stuff.
What kind of stuff specifically?
Oh, dice.
Dice. This is the dice Kickstarter, because Catalyst needed some help.
My goodness.
Catalyst needed some help making some dice.
The dice weren't even announced until so late, like the last
24
day
hours.
or two. Yeah, like finally they're like, oh, by the way, we've got dice and they're good this time. It's real fast. Let me throw that in there.
Does everyone want to know why this episode didn't come out, 2 weeks ago when it was supposed to? Oh, that's right, because they were constantly updating things until the last minute and then after. So
yep.
I just threw up my hands and like, nope, we're going to let the dust settle, then do the episode. And the dust is barely settled and we're doing it. So because they failed to make dice, and they admit it, they know it, they owned up to it, actually. They've partnered with Fan Roll by Metallic Dice Games to make laser cut and liquid core dice.
I was confused about this because I did order several sets of the liquid core because I want different factions. Mm-hmm. The liquid core only come in the chevron design. So there is only one design of the liquid core dice, not one for every faction. The laser cut, you've got one of every faction. Liquid core is just the BattleTech chevron.
Good to know.
Yeah, I was not aware until recently.
So we have 60 factions available for the laser cut dice. That's pretty much all the factions. I don't know if there's any more. And if they are, they're a minor faction and shouldn't be mentioned. What are our thoughts on these dice?
I will be getting so many of these dice. Probably not the entire collection.
I was about to say,
the entire collection, I think is 408. Well, they added, I think it's an even 500 because at 58 it was 480, and I know that the dice are normally $10. So I think like 480, 490 maybe would get you the entire set. I don't want that many dice. I don't want 122 if you count the chevron, because that's not a faction.
That's when we need to make rotary LB20s. And
yes,
it's
and
like,
just throw
oh
dice at
man, I
people.
wonder what I'm going to roll with.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
I'm going to get a lot. All my favorite factions I'm going to get, for sure.
It was tucked into that email as well.
Yep.
Dice trays.
You got to roll them on something.
These are also by fan roll, and these are only select factions. That will be Karita, Davion, Liao, Merrick, Steiner, Clan Wolf, Ghost Bear, Jade Falcon, Smoky Jags, Sea Foxes, Mercenaries, Wolf's Dragoons, Kellhounds, Aerodonny, Light Horse, Northwind Highlanders, Grey Death Legion, Hanson Frost Riders, and just the BattleTech chevron.
And that one actually looks super pretty. It's black with that yellow chevron. It looks really nice.
All right. I've held off ranting just for most of this episode, and I'm going to save it only for these. It's like, I don't love how dice roll in these because they get cocked significantly more because it's like the weird fold up punch, like the little pins on the corners, like punch it. So they come flat. You fold the corners and it makes the hexagon octagon thingy, and it's not a perfect 90, and those corners, the dice hit them and they stick, and I don't know if I love these.
Yeah, you made your own dice roller tray and it has like really low walls.
Yeah.
But those can just bounce out too.
I'm either in the box or I'm out of the box. There's no cocked dice on that.
True enough.
Yeah. So I will not be getting a dice tray for those.
I think dice trays go down in value the more dice you have to roll at the same time.
That's true. And I'm a bucket of dice kind of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes more sense. I'm learning about myself here. Josh is happiest rolling more dice. Dice trays not conducive to amount of dice Josh rolls.
You need the XXL dice tray.
There we go. Is that why I have a 13x9 dice tray?
Yeah. Whoa, cool map, bro. No. That's not my map. That's my dice tray.
Oh my God, it really is almost the size of a map. All right, moving on. The battle mats. So specifically, they said the mats for the campaign are still being designed, not ready for release yet. All double-sided, all neoprene, and the same dimensions as always.
I'm super curious what they're going to put on the other side of those maps.
Some can be used with other maps to expand into a mega map, but not all of them. I appreciate that they're already planning interconnectivity.
Well, for the city ones, for sure. Like, you can't not do that. But yeah, I'm excited to look at all of these. I've really liked what they've done with the battle mats a lot, at least for Classic. We all know my opinions about their Alpha Strike battle mats.
It's just a classic sheet without X.
Which is such a... Just don't get me started. Stop it.
All right, we'll move on. Did anyone notice the secret model in the...
I did.
In the manufacturer? I was like, wait a second. I know what that mech is. That's not in this.
As a Solaris fan, my attention was immediately flagged.
Neuron activation. So they've got the Yinlo Wang variant of the Centurion being assembled in one of their factory assembly videos.
Mm-hmm.
And first off, the glue they're using in these factory assembly videos, I want to know what it is, because none of my glue's that strong. Like, they are put it on and it never moves again. I'm like, oh, I see. You got the good stuff.
Yeah.
They haven't announced this. This might be the free thing, the free unannounced product, like the Shalone from the first one. Everyone gets
That'd be cool. A Yinlo Wang.
Or this could just be a force pack that's supposed to tide us over, that gets released somewhere in the middle.
The Solaris source pack. Yeah, force pack. Yes.
So, I don't know. It could be one, could be either, could not be any. In one of their other videos, they are 3D printing a Chameleon master copy. So, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, this is... And that was 4 months ago. So, if they're assembling plastics of this Centurion Yinlo Wang, that's either the one that we've already seen and just like the camera's not good enough quality. I doubt that. Or it's something we are going to see very soon or in the Kickstarter. But I also doubt that they would be producing the gray models of that already. That's
for the Kickstarter?
For the Kickstarter. That's the only reason
100% they are. 100% they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're trying to get on this now so that we don't have all the delays that they had on the first one. They have learned so much. They knew, as soon as they knew the money was going to be coming in, they had already started. They had already done a lot of pre-work. They are producing models right now.
I understand that. I just still like, okay, this was like 4 months ago or something. Like, so it's already being produced, but where is it? And I don't believe it's sitting in a warehouse somewhere. I want to say it's
in
ready.
China.
I know it's
sitting in a warehouse in China.
All right. So in addition to that, we had a few digital things that like beta, quote unquote, that came out during the Kickstarter. So if you backed it, you got access to this. BattleTech Aces, the solo play for BattleTech.
Not just solo competitive play. So I know you can do it single player, but it really shines when you get a couple friends and you set up an Alpha Strike game. It can be used. There's going to be versions for Classic and Alpha Strike, but right now they're really focusing on Alpha Strike. It just seems to work super well with the Alpha Strike type of game right now. But you get some friends and you set up the deck of what the enemy is going to do, and then you play against an AI enemy, and it kicks your butt. It's really fun.
So this is kind of like in the solo world. This was kind of like a solitaire style game, like where it's a deck based, and like depending on what you draw is like what the happens with the enemy. At least that's what I'm calling it. This is BattleTech Solitaire. If you were experienced in that.
Hence the aces. No, I don't know if that has.
I mean, that was the first thing I thought. I'm just going to use my knowledge. Also, you said competitive, so all my brain is stuck on now. It's like I competitively play with myself or by myself, and I'm like, let's flush my brain now because I will only ever think of that when I play with aces. All right, we've got the other thing that was Kickstarter backing exclusive locked was the BSP beta version 2. So if we pledged our support before the Kickstarter, we got version 1. This is now version 2. Is it a beta if you've already bought the cards? Yes. But this comes with printable heavy strike.
Yeah. And your old deck, just pull out a marker. Once it's all done, you could pull out a marker and just change the point costs. It's not that big a deal.
They did change some wording, so they made things clearer. I haven't dove into all of it because it's a lot of pages.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you're using the cards like if you know the rules already and you're just using the cards as placeholder, like to know what you have.
Yeah,
have the new rules for any rule clarifications, but you can play with the old deck just fine. But I'm very excited about getting the new updated version once they figure out all the nuances.
I think the big thing is like everything went way up.
Way up. Yes.
Light Strike is just like the cheapest combat offensive card. Went from 2 points to 12 points. That's a lot.
The reason why they did that though was so that when you're building your deck of BSPs, because they also added all the vehicles in which weren't part of the original BSP. So
they specifically discrete these between battlefield support strikes and battlefield support assets. So now they've balanced the strike box to be compatible with the asset box. So you can't.
Correct.
So you're not having like 2 pools of points and spending them differently.
Right. And by raising the costs of everything, you have more.
Filling with 1 point stuff, you're like, oh, this is a 12 point and this is 16 points. So there's more options if everything's on a higher curve.
Yeah.
It's okay. I know what you're meaning.
You know what I mean.
I do. On the assets, though, those changed. Because version 1 was cool, and then we were like, oh, this is how this works. Now we got version 2. They changed in that TMMs essentially got worse across the board by like 1. Because I think they were all at like a sub-running full speed, and now they're like right around the walking running speed. But they essentially went down by 1 across the board, which is fine.
That's what playtest is for. I'm super glad that they're doing this with a playtest this time, like a Kickstarter-wide playtest for people to use and have access to, because that's what they need. They need to heavily playtest products like this to find out exactly what. You get less errata going forward. You just get a more solid product when they do that. I think that that this is a super good step. They need to do it more.
Want to know something I liked a lot?
What?
The breakthrough, or the damage to destroy a battlefield support asset went up by a point. So like things that were if you do 10 damage, roll to see if you destroyed it on 6 up, 7 up, whatever. The damage value went up by 1. So what was 10 damage to roll is now like 11 damage, which means it got stronger without being significantly stronger.
Right. Well, that means that those mechs with a single PPC or a single AC-10 that you hit with it, or 2 medium lasers or whatever, that's not enough to destroy the vehicle outright. You actually have to dedicate a little bit more fire to it to get that chance to destroy it. Because there's a lot of inner sphere PPCs. And if you're just like, well, I'll fire 1 at each of these, and then your awesome takes out 3 of your units every turn. Well, now it can't.
Yeah. Oh, that's specifically what they said. They were like, it is too easy with the weapons available to hit these discrete points. So 11, 15, 21, or 11, 16, 21. If you're shooting multiple weapons, it's not any different. If you're only shooting one weapon, it completely changes it. So you can't just one-shot these now.
I'm 100% on board with that.
And it balances out by making the TMM worse by making them harder to destroy. And I think that's great play testing.
Yeah, this is what it's for. Yay.
All right, so that's the Kickstarter.
Ta-da!
What are our thoughts ending this? Like, I've got a bunch of thoughts, but I want you to lead off with your experience with the Kickstarter, how you feel going in, going out, and now we have to wait.
It obviously was bigger than they expected, and I'm not sure why. Not that I'm not sure why it was bigger. I'm not sure why they didn't expect it. They seem to have lower expectations. They should expect success at this point, because they were not prepared for multi-million-dollar stretch goals, and they should have been. They should have planned for that, even if they didn't expect it, just in case, because it's popular.
I will say, if the community had been a little bit more, I don't want to say slower going, like, oh, let's tease this Kickstarter, maybe we can get some stretch goals at lower price points, we could have done that. Like, no, we were too eager and we blew it out the water like day 2. Like, no, you gotta slow, you gotta work it in. Like, oh, day 1 I'll put $10 on. Day 2 here's another 10.
But BattleTech players are a thirsty lot.
So thirsty.
I'm excited. I like all the models. I love the vehicles. I'm super happy with the BSPs. I like a lot of the special stuff, like the cookbook and the Art of War annotated by Jamie Wolf. I love that sort of thing. So I'm super excited. I expect the next few Kickstarters they put out, because they will be a much smaller scale than this. Like a very more specific. Instead of calling it mercenaries, it will be like a faction or something. I don't know, but I expect it to be a smaller thing.
Micro.
A punt starter. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll say I got a little burned out just because there were too many updates happening, and I'd rather that most of that already be planned. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to see new things that are just, hey, everyone gets dice in the last 24 hours. I don't like that. Like,
yeah, get all that stuff worked out before you announce the Kickstarter, and not, we're still working on the dice thing, we're just going to launch the Kickstarter now. And then if the dice thing works out, we'll announce it. And unfortunately, it was only worked out 24 hours before it ended.
Yeah, I don't want to come across as I'm gonna tell a $1 million company how to run their Kickstarter. I'm just saying I got burned out, so I checked out of the Kickstarter. Like, I backed day 1 at Adepticon. I was like, oh, let me get my place, get my Visigoth, and by the end of it, I was like, all right, so what all do I got? And there are 41 emails, and I don't know. That's too many.
I will admit that once they announced the new dice and I got to see them, and then they announced the Somerset Strikers pack, I did in fact double my pledge.
I wouldn't expect anything otherwise. I'll actually say I lowered my pledge just because I was getting too much plastic, and I know that's a really weird thing to say, but I lowered my pledge because I'm like, that's too much, and my small monkey brain will have too much pile of plastic that I'm not going to get primed or painted for too long. And it's a great deal, and I understand that, but that's just going to sit on my shelf, and that's going to be overwhelming for me mentally. So
it is overwhelming.
I'm going to lower and get the things I know I'm going to paint, like if I had a spending spree for a birthday. But I don't need 30 mech force packs.
Right. I mean, and a lot of this for the Kickstarter, like I love all the extra weird, cool stuff. As far as force packs go, I don't mind not getting every single one because I have a store that now stocks all this stuff. I can just get whatever I need from there. Now, I know that I was picking about getting the big Kappa. When I say I doubled it, I had only gotten the battalion. Like I was only signed up for a battalion. I wasn't even signed up for a regiment until like the very, very end. So when I say I doubled it, I mean, I went up to regiment. I think a lot of people thought that I had already gone much further in than I did. But I wanted to see what they had before, like what they ended up with, which is why it was so tough to do this as a podcast earlier, because we had talked about doing a Kickstarter update podcast. And I'm like, Josh, since you asked about this, they've had 3 updates and it's only been a day. Like, how are we going to keep up on anything that we say, when by the time we record to the time that it comes out, everything will have changed.
Yeah.
Everything. And it did. Everything changed. So this was a good time for that.
Yeah. So I don't want anyone to think that if you didn't back a battalion or regiment, you don't get your value. Like that's not what it is.
There is value. Now, they don't have the double all your forces like they did for the clan invasion. That was another one of those mistakes, kind of like the canon character type thing that they will never do again because it almost ruined the last Kickstarter. So that is not something that is economically feasible. They realized that was a mistake.
Why are we losing money on this Kickstarter? I don't know. Who's making the pledge? Guys, I told them
who's in charge here?
They could get twice of everything for $10 extra. You what? So I actually went down in mine, and I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. Like I said, I will get the stuff as it comes out. And they actually said in an interview with ICV2, their Kickstarter for Clan Invasion was not the main source of the money and product. Like that was still retail. So retail, they still expect to do more money than just the Kickstarter. It's just the Kickstarter funds the retail production.
Right. Correct.
All righty. Let's go into some FAQ because there was a lot of FAQ updates.
There was.
It was asked, combat manuals are planned for 2023. So
right, because they didn't mention them during the Kickstarter at all. It's because it's not going to be a Kickstarter thing. It was already planned. Some of them are coming out this year.
The wishful thinking is end of 2023, start of 2024 for fulfillment. And that was confirmed by Lauren. But that's because, quote, things are going so smoothly that it looks like we will fulfill very early. And that was at the start. And I don't know if just there's a lot now that they didn't expect now with multiple, like the DICE fan rolls fulfillment section.
They were saying June of 24 as an outlier, just so that people would have that as an expectation. It is, however, looking like it will be much, much sooner than that. Much, much sooner.
Posters are folded, not rolled.
Yep.
Most Clan Invasion items are going to be available. What will not be available is the A Game of Armored Combat no box set mechs.
I know.
And that's what everyone wants. And
yeah,
I want it too. I'll be honest. I do. So, nope, you got to buy your Game of Armored Combat. Get it retail, like super discount. Don't worry about it.
They do go on sale sometimes, especially at Barnes & Noble. You can find them for half off there for the box set.
Just give all the stuff to like a needy Mechwarrior.
That's right.
The Adepticon products will most likely be add-ons as well. The Destiny Scale Marauder specifically is still a, quote, maybe.
Yeah.
So they don't know. I'm guessing that's probably a production issue of how many of these can we ramp up? Is it worth it? Or is this just going to be Archon exclusive? And I'm like, Merc salvage boxes are mechs and only mechs. And one out of the 38
that is a new
mechs.
thing. Yeah.
So You got your chance of 10 clan and the rest Innersphere. So it's kind of weighted Innersphere on that one.
Yeah, but it's a Mercenaries Kickstarter, so that's fine. And actually, that'll be really good for the blind boxes when we do the mercenary
much
ones.
More balanced.
Because yeah, it's not that the blind boxes are all about fair. They're more about fun than fair. But I think it will balance itself out better if there's only 10 clan mechs in the pool.
Yeah. And our last one, I just want to throw this in. If I have a refund credit from Clan Invasion, can I use it on this Kickstarter in the Pledge Manager? Yes, but you have to email.
Yes. And if you put extra money in there, you can use it on anything, including shipping.
The Pledge Manager will be in the next roughly 4 weeks. So.
Yes, roughly 4 weeks. That could be anywhere from tomorrow till 4 weeks from now. And that's when you'll be able to add more money if you want to. You'll be able to change all your selections. So just be patient and wait. Once it does come out, you will have a full 30 days to make your selections before they will close it again.
Yep. And they plan, update a week until fulfillment? Yes. Blake, that's a lot of updates.
Yes, that is.
Yeah.
We will cover the important ones every now and again.
That's the best way to do it. All right. Anything else?
I'm good. This has been a good one.
Yeah. Denham, thanks for coming on. Thanks for backing the Kickstarter and keeping up with all the updates.
If I didn't back the Kickstarter, we would have nothing to talk about for the next year. So I'm here for you. Except
there will be product to fill in. This is not, no product until then. They specifically say that. They're like, there will be product.
That's true. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year.
Yeah. So BattleTech 2024, gonna go big.
Yes.
And then gonna go home and gonna paint it all.
Gotta paint it all. Oh, I gotta paint all the stuff I got for Clan Invasion still.
Yeah, I know you.
So much stuff.
Pile of potential, people.
That's right.
All right, Denham, thanks for coming on, and I will catch everyone later.
Thank you.
All right, Mechwarriors. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Mechbay podcast. And remember, a ton of machine gun ammo a day keeps the infantry platoon away.